ML Sports Take here. It's all brought to you by Camillus Golf Club and Welch and Company Jewelers. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. So the Bonnies season comes to an end in Brooklyn, 20-13 on the overall year and 9-9 in the A10. And the A10 was kind of like the season, right? I mean, they come in, they win a couple, kind of get us going again a little bit here, right? They had some awful periods of time in those games, and in others, they had some greatness in them. And you kind of saw a little bit of that up and down against Duquesne as well. I am not surprised at how this game went down. I picked a little bit more with my heart today than my wallet. I don't bet, but just, as the saying goes, but a couple of the things that really needed to take place, just didn't. Charles Pride, only got 8 points. I thought he really needed to get more. I thought the Bonner guards needed to have elite games, the balanced, bigger, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" kind of guys, getting in the lane, controlling the middle of the floor and all the rest. And I know that a lot of people, come at me with the whole, well, it's the same old thing. There aren't a lot of adjustments, blah, blah, blah. What are they going to do? And to a degree, some of that was happening today, but I think that once in a while, you have to credit the opponent. I mean, you do. Duquesne's defense is suffocating, and you could tell that they were bringing up guys and bringing back guys in waves and just kind of really neutralizing the floor. A lot of confusion. It's almost like when a defense in the NFL just brings a bunch of different looks. Think Steve Spagnuolo for the Chiefs, right? I mean, it's that kind of thing where you're kind of looking and going, oh my God, like what is coming at us this time? Bonaventure, I heard the color guy today for the broadcast, say the body needed to make some threes. He's right. They only made 6. They had a really poor shooting game. And the thing was, even when St. Bonaventure executed a play and got an open shot, they just couldn't make anything in the beginning of the game, and I give them a lot of credit for fighting and clawing like always. In these types of games, they get it down to, there were 2 huge moments in the second half, right? They get it down to 50-46. And then Chad Venning just has the most idiotic turnover you could ever imagine. What is he doing? He's way out again. And I'm just watching the season go in the blink of an eye. I'm watching the season go just disappear, right? They got all the way back to this point. They're within 4 points in an unbelievable rock fight. Go to the back alley and put your dukes up. Dukes, I had to say that. Put up your fists and let's brawl, right? So he throws the ball away. Mark Schmidt is irate over there on the baseline. And that's the kind of play where, like, a lot of people go, oh, the coaching. That's not the coaching. That is a terrible decision by a player, throwing the ball away. And then what happens on the other end, Grant nails the 3. And he had a phenomenal game. I'll get to him in a second. The other, obviously, huge part was the, ball, I thought, was out of bounds in the corner late, right? And they ended up reviewing it. Instead of 1 second on the clock, there's 20, and Duquesne gets a huge break on that, and they go ahead and hit, I believe, another 3. Those happened in the last 4.5 minutes of this game. Those were huge, last 5:41 of the game. Those were huge plays in the game. Let's be honest. After Bonaventure battled back, they get it to 10 off of the Adams Woods free throw, the 1-and-1. And you just said to yourself at that moment with 40 seconds to go, what could have been in the first half? What could have been the difference at that moment, right? With under a minute to play, if they had just executed some shots in the first, right? There were just so many times it was either, I thought in the first half and really throughout the second when Duquesne held control, when they held firm, the tempo rhythm in this game, it was either the Duquesne defense just really dominating the tempo rhythm, everything in the game, making Bonaventure really frustrated, or it was the Bonnies able to get a shot, a 3, a good look from 3, or a mid-range jumper, or, tipping a ball and getting maybe an easy bucket inside, and they just couldn't execute. They just could not make shots. This game was a 6-point game. It became a 4-point game, at the half. It was a 6-point game at the half, and Bonaventure just did not execute at all offensively. Now, you could say the same thing for Duquesne because they only had 28 points, but you could kind of tell that Duquesne was more in control. It felt a little bit more than a 6-point lead to me. Duquesne really did an unbelievable job, I thought, getting the right pass late in the shot clock as well. It was just an offensive game plan that worked to perfection. They were extremely efficient. Their forwards, I thought, were a lot better on the glass. And then you had, obviously, Grant with a 27-point game. He made 6 of 9 from 3, whether he was open or he was contested or whatever the case may be. They got 11 points off the bench, but Bonaventure got 23 points off the bench. I really, hats off to Evans for scoring 7 and rebounding 7 today. Brown, all year long, he got a little banged up in this game. He really didn't have a good game. He wasn't effective. He only had 1 rebound, 2 points in 13 minutes. Banks tried like hell. A lot of iso ball, a lot of fighting. He just could not. I mean, he had 14 points, but he just couldn't get that extra shot to go. Really rough game for Venning. I mean, just was awful in this game. I thought, with 17 minutes played, I thought he easily could have played 10. I almost, because of the last game, I would have almost started Brown in this game. But Venning, and I know a lot of people are probably like, well, you did a video on him earlier in the year, you dummy. At the time, the video on Venning was correct. The only thing that wasn't correct was my slip up saying he was probably in the 3rd deck of Bonnie's. As it looks right now, he's probably, 6th or 7th deck or 8th deck all time of Bonnie's. That one kind of just slipped out. He's definitely not in the Pete Van Possen group. Let's put it that way. But he was just horrible. And I thought the last month of the season, he has just completely tanked and gone way downhill. Pride, again, 8 points, needed more there. Flowers, 8 points, needed more there. Adams Woods, again, where was he today? Duquesne did a great job on him. He was only 2 of 11 from the floor. So this was a really, really hard offensive game. It was a grind game. Bonnie's got 30 rebounds. They actually out-rebounded Duquesne, but the assist was 17-11 in favor of Duquesne, and you could see both teams turned it over 11 times too, but you could clearly see the offensive efficiency working the clock down. They just had the matchups. They had the right screen. They had guys moving without the ball perfectly. And then all of a sudden it was pass, boom, open layup, pass, boom. Grant hits a 3-pointer. Bonaventure chasing the play a little bit. They were on defense quite a bit. They're getting tired in that regard. So it just started getting layered at that point. And because you didn't have enough offensively and you were just losing a lot of key matchups and a lot of key spots on the floor, you just really couldn't pull it out. But this was a roller coaster season. It was a roller coaster at times, A10 tournament. Bonaventure had to lock down. I mean, let's be honest, against Loyola, they had to go 6 minutes plus to shut Loyola out to win. They got down double digits in this game. They got down double digits against Loyola. When you look at it, they could have easily lost to LaSalle. It's just a matter of if they make 3 to 5 or 6 plays at the end of each half in the last 4 to 6 minutes, and that means that they win the game. I mean, that's really what this season has been like. I mean, you think about some of the losses and some of the wins, how many times they lost at home, they lose to Fordham and Canisius. I mean, all the lows, and then we experienced a couple of highs, and they win a couple in this tournament. You're like, okay, the top four seeds. But the problem was they ran into Duquesne, who might be a tougher matchup, as we saw this year, getting beat 3 times by them, might be a tougher matchup than anybody in the A10. And I got to tell you, I would rather lose tonight because I can't handle a championship loss to VCU. I mean, of all the teams to lose to, Bonnet has had their number. The last thing I want is VCU talking shit the entire offseason. So at least they lost to Duquesne. And by the way, I'm pulling for Duquesne, man. I mean, it's been literally almost 50 years since they've been in the NCAA tournament. So I'm rooting for this team. Grant was phenomenal today. Like I said, they had 18 from Clark III. He got it done. Their guard play is tremendous. They start 3 guards and 2 forwards. I thought Bonnet could have easily done that today. I would have limited Venning big time in this game. When Evans came on and came on, I thought that he easily deserved maybe another 4 to 6 minutes in this game. I would have maybe split him and Brown a little bit more and gotten Venning out of there, but neither here nor there. It doesn't matter now. The season's over, and Bonnie finishes 20-13, 9-9. Not much else to be said. I think we all understand what happened this season. Everybody came back, and they added 2 guys I thought would be perfect for the program, and it just wasn't meant to be. Something didn't click. They couldn't stay consistent, and in the A10, we saw a lot more of that as well. I want to thank every single one of you for the entire year. I think that's the number one thing for me, more than the basketball, is just people, the support, the friendships, the watching, the listening, the great kind words, and pumping me up all year as well. I've enjoyed it. and I'm going to try to do some things in the off season. I'm going to take some time away from this for a little bit at least, but pop on once in a while here and there, and we'll see who comes back, right? I mean, I think if you're looking at guys coming back, I mean, if they can get, the forwards back, I mean, if you can get, the former Jan back and you can get Barry, that would be a huge thing. But this is going to be a completely different team next year, and you're going to have to go into the portal. You're going to have to kind of, evaluate what you have, and it's going to be obviously another challenge because everybody in college sports right now is a free agent. But I've just had an absolute blast, even though they drove me nuts this year and drove you guys and gals nuts too. The only thing I didn't do this year was I didn't get down to a game at Bona. I just couldn't do it between work and family life. It just gets harder and harder. But, I always love seeing people in central New York and going down to Bonaventure and walking into the Burton or walking anywhere else. And, people know me and people come up to me and people say great things to me and shake hands and compliments and all that stuff. And I can take the constructive criticism as well. I know it got a little hairy there for a while at the end of the year, but if anybody wants to criticize, that's fine constructively. I have no problem with it. I can take it. I've been in the media industry for 25 years. I can handle it. It's where I get annoyed is where people have factual inaccuracies and say something, twist something that I said and go the other way, and then I have to correct it, and then I have to get defensive, and then people, why are you defending it? Because you defend your opinion, you defend your take. That's part of the on-air journalism story. So just wanted to throw that out there again as well. But had a blast, and we'll see what the offseason brings. Mike Lindsley here, ML Sports Take, brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. I know you guys and gals are Bonnies first, but try to enjoy the rest of the March basketball. We got NC State, Carolina tonight. We got Marquette, UConn in the Big East. Going to be unbelievable selection Sunday tomorrow. I know I'm excited. At least Central New York, SU women are going to go and probably get a 5 seed. So you got a lot going on there. And obviously the NCAA tournament's still a pretty special time. But man, if you're a Buffalo sports fan and you're a Bonnie fan, it's another tough day here today. I mean, the Sabres blow it in Detroit. Bonnies lose. We're back to normal, right? The Bills against Kansas City. Just can't have nice things, man. But one nice thing is all of you. So thank you so much. Round of applause for all of you as well. Mike Lindsley once again saying, see you later. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.